Hopefully,
Yes.
we are live. Waiting for stream to be
Yeah, we are.
green. Yep, we are green.
You can see on the studio that we are live.
Perfect, perfect. The only problem is I have connected to a bad Wi-Fi. So I think I'm just going to connect to
Right.
this. Just a moment, right?
Yeah.
So I just jumped the Wi-Fi. Still the stream
Well,
didn't
you
get
might need
disconnected.
to decrease your mic gain.
Okay,
Little bit.
okay. Let me see. Microphone gain decreasing to 49%. So how is this?
Uh,
Maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe
okay.
57%. I think that'll do.
Yeah, little bit increase, right? Little bit.
Little bit more. Okay. 55%.
Yeah, yeah. 65 is
55%
fine.
looks good, right?
65 is
55%
fine.
looks good. And the stream looks better now. Wi-Fi and
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
the only doubt is, am I streaming from my home, this home, to the other home to YouTube? A good question.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. I could check OpenWRT, but yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm just checking the episode number and
Okay. By the time you check that,
sending it.
you I'll just go to.
Yeah, so this is episode number 30.
Yeah. I am actually relying through to my other home.
Got it. Got
Right. Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, shouldn't have done that, but anyway, it's stream is started, right?
it.
Continue
It
with
works.
this.
Then it is fine.
It works. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just posting. I have posted in text once. I will like posting to different channels.
Right. You're watching the stream, right?
Yes, I'm watching this.
Perfect. Perfect. I am also starting to watch the stream in my phone. Um, this is
Yeah,
correct, right? Our episode is for 30, right?
third, yeah, absolutely.
Let's set the title later. Perfect.
Yes. By the way, today is like IPL finals, Indian Premier League finals, right? So
Right. Right.
people must be watching that. But yeah,
That
let's
is
see.
it.
Like it's not like
Right. Right.
everyone will be watching cricket.
Correct. 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 Absolutely. I'm just tagging our most famous viewer.
Yep. Okay. So, right.
Right.
All right. So today we have really good topics because, of course, we were away for a while.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, um, the older format was like we never discussed about the topics, rather we just kept going. Right?
Correct, correct, correct. Yes,
So,
that's what we're going to do also today.
right, right.
Okay, so just just let me know when should we start it. I'm like ready. Hmm. And one more, and maybe two on the go. We're just waiting one more minute and then we'll start.
I think, yeah, let me just ping others.
Yes. And not a problem. They can join whenever they get free, right?
Right, right, right.
I'm just checking my mic. Check one, two, three. Check one, two, three.
Yep, mine is also seems to be working fine. Um, yeah,
Yeah. For me, it seems like Telegram is like overdoing the noise suppression and trying to remove that.
I have put a noise gate on top of your audio. Is it having some issues? Just a noise gate, right? I put it on also mine, right? My audio.
Okay.
Same noise gate,
Uh,
not a different noise gate. Same decibels, everything same, right? Entirely same parameters.
oh, okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah, we are like 7 minutes into the stream, like
Yeah.
8 minutes more.
So
We can start.
let's start, right?
Right.
All right. So just a moment. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Open Talks episode number 30. We are like back after a long, long time, and today we are going to discuss really good topics. We missed you a lot. We are aware that every week we are deciding when something came up, but now we'll try to be consistent every week. And yeah, so let's roll with the episode, right? So yeah, you can roll the intro, I guess.
We are back.
All right. So the first topic, right? That is really interesting to see that companies try to when it comes to their image in the market, right? So we also saw that Apple released a what do we say a self-repair program in which they will sell the parts and people will try to repair on their own. But that was kind of a gimmick, right? That
Absolutely.
was PR step from their
We have
side.
chance.
Similar to
Right.
that, yeah, Pearson. So similar to that, we have Nvidia. So it is interesting to see that how Nvidia is manipulating the market. So what they have done is we we know from ages that the Linux drivers from Nvidia are closed source from ages, right? Because of that, we all Linux users are facing a lot of problems. Like if there is an issue, I mean, talking about myself, right? So if if some of the program is using Nvidia, and if I put my laptop on sleep, and if I then after that when I wake up the laptop from sleep, the Nvidia driver itself is not able to recognize the card. So I have to, remove the
Reboot.
module and then again attach the module in the kernel module.
Technically
So
same as
the
rebooting.
technically same as rebooting, absolutely. So see these kind of small problems. This is like just me speaking. If you will if you will talk with the users which are using dedicated Nvidia card with KD, just like Abhiram, right? They will have a lot more problem. And talking about variant support, it's like it's havoc. Like variant is like nowhere near. So these are the problems which can be solved if you just put your drivers open source. Like that's the step. Right? AMD has already done that. No one is complaining about that. Or 100% compatible with Linux and all this stuff. But see, this is the problem. So what Nvidia has done to minimize the what do we say suppress the sound uh, of these what do you say open source kind of thing.
People
They have
basically complaining, open source drivers, right, to suppress
exactly
them basically.
yes suppress those people. What they've done is uh, taking I mean they have open sourced something, right? But that is not the actual driver. So what me and Abhiram just discussed today, like, I didn't know that. Abhiram told me that this is new driver in ports. It's like it's not the original driver. It doesn't have CUDA support. It only supports some last generations of the card. So it's not the original code, first of all. And second of all, it's not even useful code. Why? Because if something is going open source, then if you want to look into the code and solve some problems, you will go through the commits, right? GitHub commits. You won't go through the code itself. But here, what's happening is whatever version they are releasing, right? They will put all the changes in one commit. So it's like they're just dumping the code. They're not trying to organize the code in such a way that other developers can look and fix some issues. So
Absolutely.
there is no meaning, right? First of all, the code is not original. Second of all, it's not even useful in terms of commits. So why this? This is because whenever Nvidia is raised with some questions in some business meeting or somewhere else, that your code is not open source. Why? Then they will just say, yeah, our code is open source. You can just look at this GitHub link. And yeah, no business person or no non-tech person is going to look into that link and see that yes, it is the
Even they are
code.
going to say something like this, right? We have
Yeah,
a driver open source. We have a driver open source. They
absolutely,
won't say it is this driver is open source, right? They will say they have a
100%.
driver. It can be like any driver, right? It can be some weird driver
Absolutely.
which doesn't even really work. And that's exactly what
Yes.
we see
Yeah,
here. Like the driver is basically
absolutely
dummy
correct.
driver. It is the bare minimum needed to just drive the car, and we have that for ages. That is, I forgot the actual pronunciation of this Nova Move or something.
Yeah,
What was it?
no VABU, something like that, right?
Yeah, that driver, it works. It is a reverse engineered driver. It is
Yeah,
basically made by people from the
yeah,
original driver by reverse engineering it. It doesn't have CUDA support, and it
correct.
works. It's just to make the GPU
Should
work,
work.
and it just works. Even video decode works. So currently, the open source
Right.
drivers, they can't even decode video perfectly, and that is
Oh, man.
the nail in the coffin. I mean, what if
Correct.
having a beefy GPU that is 10,
Yeah,
15 series or above, currently 15
correct.
series or above, that is the only which is supported, right? What is the use of having those beefy
Yeah,
GPUs and not having the ability to use one CUDA, second video decoders, right? I'm not saying video decoding is not supported. It is very glitchy, right? And these two features, if are
yeah,
not there, why even have a GPU? Like you can obviously game on GPU, and gaming uses, the other renderers. What was the thing like? Um,
OpenCL,
OpenGL, right? OpenGL and OpenCL.
OpenGL,
So
OpenGL.
these two things do work, right? But it's not optimal. It's not like if you run a proprietary driver, if you run the open source, the open source alternative we have, and then the Nvidia open source drivers, then we can obviously say that the open source driver which the community developed is already way better than Nvidia's current open source driver. And even that driver is bad when compared to the proprietary driver, right? On terms of performance.
Correct.
But what are we talking? I mean, we are talking like a proprietary driver, which is a proprietary blob, right? Where the kernel interfaces are only open source, right? The kernel interfaces that is interfacing to the kernel, and see, like that thing is open source only because you have to compile the kernel modules with to insert into your kernel, and the kernel will keep on changing. The person can compile their own kernel, right? And that is how Linux is. So once you compile your kernel has to interface with the driver, and because of that only reason, the interface is open. But the actual binary is a blob, right? The driver itself is a blob, and that is what we have, right? And that is a problem around here, right? And this blob is a problem because there is so many other issues. When we talk machine learning, it's like on another plane of blob. We have QDNN, right? FUDNN, CUDA intercompatibility issues, CUDA compilation compatibility issues. Then there's a CUDA driver and CUDA, CUDA, toolkit compatibility issues, like compatibility issues on different plane of existence, right? Like this is like totally a mess. And we were thinking about Nvidia solving this particular issue, and what they did was they just released a publicity stunt, right? That is just to claim that they have a driver open source. They just released something, and if they make it,
problem was resolved. Yes.
Absolutely. And if they make it their main driver, then everything is solved. They just stop the proprietary blobs for Linux and start using the open source drivers. They start releasing the open source driver as the main driver, and they start adding the features to it. Then I'm fine with it. But as far as the situation currently, you can see they are not pushing that direction. Even I don't know if they do actually release the code. I mean, the binary of the code, right? I haven't seen it.
Actually, and one of the viewers has commented this, Meg Rana, right? He has commented that they didn't. They moved the proprietary things to the firmware and only open source the kernel modules. That's what they have done.
Correct.
So,
they have just open source a little bit more. What do you call the kernel interfaces were already open, right? Now the kernel module itself is open, right? So it's still the interface, right? It's still the interface, but what do you call a large portion of the interface. But the actual the compute, the driver which takes XOR signals and converts it into rendering signals, right? That is open source. And you can also say the actual rendering code is proprietary. That is the blob. Then what talks to GPU is also open source. So now you have the proprietary blob in the middle that is still existing. But they open source all the interconnections between them. Earlier only the code which is connecting from the Nvidia driver to the kernel was open source. Just that part. But this doesn't mean anything, right? See, this is just to
absolutely.
I think this is just to impact, I think, Intel and AMD sales actually. Intel, even though they have a they have an open source driver which is not that good but still works, right?
Correct.
AMD has a really good driver. It works perfectly, right? Intel has some glitches now and then, right? You do have, right? The tearing issue and all those things which can be fixed, but still it's a pain in the ass. While Nvidia, Nvidia is a pain in the ass to another level, right? If it works, then, it's godly, right? If it works,
Yeah,
keep that card, keep that configuration forever. Right? But for
absolutely.
AMD, I don't think, it even works on a Pi. That is the funniest thing. Even works on Raspberry Pi.
Correct, 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 correct.
You know
100%.
what happened, right? There's a
I mean,
person called Jeff Gerling. Right?
okay, okay.
That person wanted to use a GPU in the Raspberry Pi, just for fun, right?
Okay, okay.
I'm not talking like, SoC based GPU. He wants
Yeah,
a beefy GPU, right?
correct.
Something which is beefy, right? So
Yeah,
nothing worked, right? Nothing worked. No AMD GPU, no Intel GPU, no Nvidia GPU worked in there.
right.
But what happened is, because of the driver of AMD is open source, AMD engineers were okay with helping them, you know,
Oh,
integrate the drivers with Pi.
right.
And
Yeah,
now we have a driver for Pi. And the only problem is it is not usable yet. It is having a
oh,
rendering issue and all those things. You can always go and take a look at, Jeff Curling's channel, right? Now about Pi's support for
yeah.
RTX, what is it? 6050 XT or something, right? Not 650, 6500 XT, right? 6500 XT. if I'm
Got
So
it,
yeah, it even runs on Pi, AMD GPU,
got it.
while Nvidia GPU being proprietary blobs, people can't do anything
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
And now they are trying to hurt AMD's business. The people who wants to buy AMD because it is open, not going to buy it because they're saying, okay, Nvidia also open source. Nvidia is the biggest player in the market. Let's buy that, right? And once they buy it, they will know
then
that
they
they're screwed. They are absolutely
absolutely.
screwed.
There is no way then they can experience Wayland, right? I mean, Wayland is the future, and still there is
Absolutely.
no support for proper support for Wayland. What the users is pointed out. So yeah, absolutely correct. All right. So yeah, so that's all about it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's not. That's not.
All right. So you know, just like Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia is pain in the ass from start, but this company is pain in the ass just from last year or maybe 2 years. That's 2 years. So so basically, we are talking about OnePlus. So till
Who
now,
knew,
what
right?
they've done is who, who knew? Yeah. So I mean, till now, they have killed their OS software, right? What do you see? That was fine.
Now,
I mean,
they are doing one plus that, right?
yeah. Now they're doing WordPress with the software. They're killing their own hardware. So I mean, what a smartphone company has to offer you, right? A hardware and a software. Two things. One is already dead. One is like almost dead. What are you expecting now? I mean, yeah. So that's a problem. Like I'll explain the scenario. So we witnessed last year that there was no launch of OnePlus 9T, right? That was one of the major red flags. Then came OnePlus 9R, which was having MediaTek chip. I mean, in their in their OG series, right? You're introducing MediaTek chip. That was a huge flop. And then they released OnePlus 9RT. Now, yeah, now that had OnePlus, sorry, a Snapdragon triplet. That is fine. That phone was a really good success. Even still it is selling. That is fine. You have understood that if we will introduce MediaTek in our OG series, no one is going to buy. This year, what has happened is they launched OnePlus 10 Pro directly. First of all, they are launching in China only, not launching it globally. 10 Pro comes way later in the India at way higher price, 68,000 something like that. No one is going to buy at that price. And I mean, yeah, even some people will buy. But yeah, let's forget about that. Then they are launching OnePlus 10R. At least last time, OnePlus 9R had the OnePlus characteristics. That is alert slider, the build quality, the you know the display, right? Those things. This time, OnePlus 10R. First of all, there is no alert slider. I mean, Note series even has a slide. That 25K phone, right? That also has slide. This phone doesn't have a slide. I'll tell you why it doesn't have a slide. Uh, Also, it has a plastic build. It's having Dimensity 1800, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
MediaTek.
sorry, 8100 max processor. That heats like a hell. So first of all, they release this
It
phone in
doesn't
some
heat like hell,
different.
man. Like, it heats like Earth core, right?
Absolutely correct. Very good.
Maybe just compare it to sun's core. That's cool.
Correct. Very good. So yeah, this is a huge problem. Uh, Display is shit. Like if you put 10R just side by side to OnePlus 9, even 90, oh sorry, 930, 10R's display will look shit. It doesn't have SDR capability with Netflix, which all the OnePlus has, because this is the flaw of Dimensity, uh, MediaTek Dimensity chip. Right? It doesn't have support for uh, SDR on Netflix somehow.
Basically, what the situation is like, Dimensity was never certified for HDR, so no one
I
actually
see.
pushes content which is HDR certified into
Ah,
a chip which is not HDR certified. But I think
that is
still it can do YouTube at HDR, because YouTube doesn't care about the
YouTube is fine.
certification.
YouTube is fine. Correct. Yeah, that is fine. It does have an E4 AMOLED display, but believe
By
me,
the way, just
side by
saying,
side,
YouTube HDR is a
yeah,
hoax. Like, it's just a weird thing. Not
yeah,
a real
it's
HDR.
not
Right?
it's not a real SDR experience. Yeah, absolutely correct. I agree with it. Okay, so on top of that, it comes with Oxygen OS 12. I mean, Color OS 12,
Your color is
because
real, yeah.
even the launcher, right? Launcher was the thing which was not Color OS. Now, even the launcher is Color OS. So just the notification shade, right? Just the quick settings, quick toggles. That is little bit uh, comparable with Oxygen OS, but otherwise everything is Color. So yeah, there you are dead.
I think probably they are writing some bash script to just convert ColorOS code to OxygenOS code at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean, just make a
Regular expression, right?
color OS zip and just run this shell script to basically replace some APKs, and
Yep, yep.
there you're good to go.
Just
So
edit those XMLs, right? Where it says ColorOS and replace it to
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
OxygenOS. And next what, right? I mean, now the
Yeah,
OxygenOS is no longer there, right? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know why when they could have just taken one more step, OnePlus that, and taken off of the OxygenOS branding as
yeah.
total, right?
Correct. Okay, so one more thing, right? This phone is not an original phone itself. This is why it's not having the alert slider. It's a rebranded phone. So I mean, Microsoft is the company who does this rebranding shit, right? Even they are not doing it now, because they know that people are not going to use, use the rebranded phone now. So basically, this is a rebranded phone from Realme, something Realme GT Neo or some phone, right?
I
Exactly,
don't know
they
why,
that's
but this feels really similar to some other company we know. Maybe rhymes with YU, right?
I mean that company was a legend in that time, but yeah, correct. So
They
I
will
mean,
they will go to China, right? Find out some
yep,
way to
yep, yep,
rebrand one phone and come up with that, and boom,
correct,
right? A phone.
absolutely correct.
Like we
There you
didn't
go.
know at first. After a long time, only we knew. Like
Hmm.
all the phones they released, not even one was authentic.
Yeah.
Everything was
What
just
was
a
it?
copy, right? Like from you, right? Everything was a
That
copy.
there, yeah. Basically, Coolpad, right? Coolpad was the original company,
Correct.
or maybe not even Coolpad. But there was some OEM which was selling to Coolpad and you also. So yeah, that could be also the case. Yeah. So
Uh,
one of the users is saying that before OnePlus had a good bootloader unlock support, but now they follow the same deep testing method, which is terrible. Yeah, I mean, dip testing, right? You have to go through this rigorous process of approving your unlocking through some OnePlus account and getting the OTP and getting the access, and then you are able to unlock.
Yeah, basically Xiaomi way.
Xiaomi, yeah, absolutely correct. Okay, so with the viewer is saying Oppo Realme do this bad thing where after the phone gets end of life, they stop the bootloader unlock support, and I'm afraid that this will happen with OnePlus also. Absolutely. I mean, if OnePlus can rebrand a phone which is
It's not
sold
OnePlus anymore.
the
It's
name of
Oppo.
Realme,
Right?
it is yeah, it's all one Oppo. Absolutely correct. So if OnePlus can literally take the phone from Realme and sell it as OnePlus, absolutely they can do this thing. That after the end of life of device is there, I mean your end of life is there. They won't even allow the unlocking process. Uh, I mean permissions. That is possible, absolutely possible. Because this brand is not an enthusiastic brand at all. So there you go. I mean, absolutely. I mean, uh, uh, all of you should check out the B Bombs video. I mean, there is a channel named as B Bomb. Yes, I mean they have made only one video on OnePlus 10R, basically bashing all the points about it. They have not thought about their relationship with the OnePlus. They've told the real truth, and that's what I mean, we are also seeing, right? So yeah, that's really bad step from OnePlus. We hope that MediaTek chips only stays in the Nord series, not comes in the OG series. But yeah, it's already coming, so yeah, not in our heads.
I don't actually think MediaTek is bad, but like it is bad
Huh.
for what do you call, like, people who really want to use the phone as
Yeah,
a, what do you call, like a something different than an iPhone, right? Where they want to use some modes like Gcam mode or something,
yeah,
which really requires
absolutely.
Snapdragon support, if I'm correct, right? And then
Yes.
something else like
Hmm.
what do you call, like they want to run a custom ROM. MediaTek is very bad.
Okay. Abhi, let me pause you just there, right? You
Yep.
you you started really good. So I was just checking out the XDA forums of OnePlus 9, 9 Pro, 9RT, which are the most selling phone of last year of OnePlus.
Correct.
Just 3 days back, right? Not even like what 1 month or 2 months back. Just 3 days back. OnePlus 10 Pro has two custom ROMs. OnePlus 9RT has one custom ROM. OnePlus 9 has, I think, one or two custom ROMs. Then I checked the forums of OnePlus 8T. It has more than more than 50 custom ROMs. So there you go. Like now, even if you have Snapdragon in OnePlus, developers are not coming to the OnePlus. So
Because they don't
there is
want it.
no one to build a custom ROM.
Actually, the thing is, Google has done it.
Yeah, yeah. Even the Google is like, yeah,
I mean, Google has done it. I mean, this is it. Right? This is
is it?
what the
Yep,
Google's
yep, yep.
vision was, right? To kill custom ROMs, right?
Correct, correct.
And they have done it.
Agree. Absolutely agree. Okay.
Custom ROM also depends on how recent the kernel service is released. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I agree.
Because
You know Motorola, right? They are releasing really good phones. Moto S30, S30 Pro, but none of them has these custom ROMs because they are not releasing the kernel source. That's the only sole reason why they don't have custom ROMs. So yeah, you are absolutely correct. Make run.
and one more thing is like in the kernel service compatibility with the OS. Right? See, if the kernel is really old, what will happen
Yeah,
is, because Android basically tries to have fun with the kernels. They do change the
yep, yep,
API a
yep.
lot and all those things. You can't actually take some kernel which is very old and put it in a new
Correct.
Android. I mean, it will
That is correct.
work, but it will have some issues. Some hardware will
Yeah,
stop working. There might be some
correct.
kind of a boot looping issue or some kind of issue, some kind of pain in the ass. Then what you'll do is you
Agree.
will rebase with a vanilla kernel. You will take all the changes which is put on the whatever you are given with, and you will put those
Hmm.
changes into new vanilla kernel, which is released by whatever. brand, right? For example, Qualcomm has something called CAF, right? Code Aurora Forums, right? Where they
Yes.
release their vanilla kernels, and then after applying it, it might not work, right? Then you are
Okay.
relying on other manufacturers who are releasing the same kernel source code with the patches
Hmm.
and mismatching those
Correct.
drivers with this, right? Because they might
Oh, yeah.
actually have the same chip, like same chip or
Similar.
same
Yeah.
hardware.
Right.
These all
Agree.
are getting harder and harder as manufacturers are stopping to. They're stopping the release of kernels. They're
Yes.
slowing down the release
That's
of
absolutely
kernels.
correct.
I think Android is moving to what do you call like a OS is open source. Like open source. In the sense there is something
Yeah.
called as AOSP which no one uses now. It's just there, like
Agree.
Chromium. Right? I think I don't know who all uses Chromium. The majority of people I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think they use Chromium. The
Yeah.
only reason
Af-
why you might
yeah.
have used Chromium is because Edge or Opera or whatever. But at that point,
Yes.
is it Chromium anymore? That is a lot of proprietary junk on top of Chromium. It is not as pure
Absolutely.
as Chromium. And obviously, if you use some proprietary OS like Samsung's on One UI or you know
Yeah.
OnePlus's Hydrogen, Oxygen OS or Color OS or whatever,
Correct.
Huawei's whatever they have, their modification of Android. What are you getting? Like you are not obviously getting iOS. You are getting something which is way different than iOS. So at that point, can you call Android open source?
100% no. Absolutely no.
No phone is running open source code anymore. So why even call it open
Yeah.
source anymore?
Exactly. I mean, do we remember any company who has made their own operating system open source? I think no one, right? No one has done that.
Absolutely.
That is really interesting to see.
This is
Yeah.
why we still stand by the thing that we need Linux phones to succeed. That's the
Yes.
only way by which we can eliminate all these problems. And the major hurdle with
Absolutely
Linux will
correct.
be adoption of WhatsApp, because that is what I think WhatsApp and maybe in India, right? I think UPI also. One UPI app should be there. If these two come
Right.
to Linux phones, then I think people
Yeah.
might.
Yeah. Agree. And also the hardware, right? I mean, hardware vendors are no. I mean, the
I think
powerful
at this
vendors
point,
are not.
I think Apple is doing a
Yeah.
way better job than Android. They are
Okay.
giving
I
even
agree.
hardware repair.
I absolutely agree.
Android has
Even
also
like
meaning, right? The real meaning of Android has been lost for centuries now.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
Google did
mean,
it,
the
right? Google
moment
has did it.
I mean, the moment people start thinking about iOS is more secure than Android, and which is correct, it's all gone. Like the whole point of Android was to keep it open source, more secure, because more people will contribute to it, and yeah, it's all gone. So
Now, who wants to contribute, right? I mean, how to contribute? That's a first question. How?
yeah,
How can you run your own operating system in your phone to contribute?
absolutely correct. Hmm. All right. So yeah, I mean, let's see. Let's wait for OnePlus. So there is a little bit hope, right? In OnePlus announced that in Oxygen OS 13, they're going to separate the software base from other OS. So basically, Oxygen OS 13 will have original Oxygen OS. That's what they are saying. But we'll have to wait and watch like what's happening. We have got some developer preview of Android 13. This is basically ColorOS on OnePlus 10 Pro, but that is China version, right? That was always ColorOS. That was never Oxygen OS. So we'll have to wait and watch. Let's wait 1 year and then see what happens. Maybe they will come back because they already know that this is the pain point. Oxygen OS people everyone wants it back. Even the non-techie people now knows that Oxygen OS was really good. So yeah, let's wait. All right.
Yeah, now they have started playing with the hardware. I don't think people will come back,
Ah,
even if they are going to put
agree.
back.
That is correct. That
Oxygen
is
OS.
correct.
The major reason I think they are trying to move apart from Oxygen OS, right, is because the base of Oxygen OS was really meant for Snapdragons, right?
One more thing. Yeah, whatever you said is absolutely correct. And one more thing with Calpay, the OG developers of OnePlus Oxygen OS, right? They also left. So
Yeah,
now
that is correct.
it it feels like there is no one there to maintain the Oxygen OS peaks.
Yeah, there is no
It feels
passion.
like that to me. There is no passion. Like, see, when OnePlus was skyrocketing, right? They deployed paranoid Android developers to build Oxygen OS. And that's what made Oxygen OS Oxygen OS. Because you remember, the first version of Oxygen OS was really shit. It was basically Cyanogen OS, right? But then these paranoid Android developers came and they made this OS. And now they are left. So now there is no one to
Again, we
build
are
it further.
emphasizing the point that see, Google developers, they are not the king. They are not
They're
the
absolutely not the game.
king, right? So there are developers who are way better talented than what Google deploys. And that is the
Correct.
proof, right? Here you go. Android developers
This is the
have
point.
optimized the code to move, right?
100%.
And you know, like,
I,
they,
I
they have
remember,
basically cut them off. Google has
yeah,
basically cut them off.
I remember when OnePlus 5T launched, right? This is what NKBSD said. At that time, Pixel 2 or Pixel 1 was also launched. So this is what NKBSD said, that after using it for 3 months, Pixel started lagging. OnePlus he used for 1 year, still it is the same speed. There is no lag. He doesn't have to format the phone and then the phone feels speedy. It's not like that. So yeah, they had some magic into the Synovis, but now I mean they are gone.
I think also Google is nailing everyone, right? Because
That could be
the
also
main
correct.
problem is now the source code is too diverse, right? I think people who are
Yeah,
developing Android might have a better understanding of it. I actually do think, right, like the Android source code has become more pain in the ass to modify, right?
agree,
And this
agree.
is one of the reasons why people are not able to maintain any kind of custom ROMs or even maintain the original OS as such. People are not able to
Exactly.
modify the, like, they are able to modify the UI, but not much unless they are someone like Samsung, where they have
Hmm.
so much people to basically, port all the custom features from one Android version to
Yes,
another.
correct, correct, correct. Samsung is very consistent at that thing, putting the original features of the previous version to the newer version. Absolutely correct. I mean, their R&D is huge, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
We are talking like not just thousands, right? Thousands of employees just for Android.
correct. I mean, this is the one of the reasons why their phones are more expensive.
Correct. I mean, they have to. I mean, these developers are like, they do have their family, right? They have to. They
Yeah,
have to maintain their family, right? It will
absolutely
cost a
correct.
lot to keep all this R&D, right? That is one of the reasons. Right?
Yes,
If you put up a bug in Samsung, right? And
right.
if it is a high-end model, I think immediately the fix will be there. Right? Not even matter of time. Right? It will be immediate.
Agree.
But while
Yeah,
the lower end models also will have some fix, but it should be very common issue.
and now OnePlus is sorry, Samsung has announced this huge commitment that they will be delivering Android updates for 5 years and security updates for 6 years, right? I mean, 5 years is like if you're starting from Android 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe
I
17 will
think
also come.
that is enough. I think that is enough. That is
That's
end of
like
life of
iOS,
phone.
right? I mean, absolutely. 4 years is like I expect a premium phone to last 5 years, but mid ranger will last 4 years, and absolutely that is next level. I agree.
Yeah, there are some comments now. So, for
Yeah, I
example,
can see. I
Corvus
can see
still
that.
have good development and good features. I personally maintain Corvus for test out. Yeah. So I have used Corvus because I only have OnePlus 3T, right? Like the old now.
Okay.
But I will try it out, right? Actually, there are only less number of ROMs now to choose from.
See, Megrana, the problem is that it's not like Android is not customizable. It is customizable. But Google enforcing these small things that this what do we say,
ABB,
safety net, then these fancy apps
DRM
won't work,
certification.
DRM DRM certification, Netflix won't work in 1080p and all those things. These things are the issue. We are not saying that the source code is not uh, you know modifiable. It is absolutely modifiable, but now it is more complex, and these small problems which prevents people from installing the custom ROM itself, even though custom ROM is available. That's the problem. And because there are less users now, there is less motivation for the developers of custom ROMs to build the custom ROM. That's the problem. That's what we are
Correct.
saying. So it could be
Even
that currently higher number of custom ROMs are available, but after some time, when they will lose the motivation, the custom ROMs will drop eventually.
correct. Actually, we're
That's what.
thinking about it. I don't know why Windows is still like we can install the ISO and still support DRM. Right?
That is, yeah, that is next level. Absolutely correct.
I mean, Microsoft normally goes the opposite route, but I think
Yep,
Microsoft
yep.
is now glitching or lagging.
Agree. I mean,
Uh,
Abram, have you installed Windows 11 on any of your laptop?
I can't.
Same,
They made
exactly.
sure of it, right?
They made sure, yeah. I still now I have never experienced Windows 11 in person with any of my devices.
In VM, I have. It's a,
Yeah, in VM, obviously, but yeah, in person, no. More hacks have to be applied and used to have a good effect. Absolutely correct. You all agree. Talking about which, uh, you know, there is a processor in the market, which is,
right.
in the mobile market, it's just like standing here, and all
Okay.
the processors are trying to cope up with it, right?
Right. Right.
So obviously, we are talking about the M1 and the predecessor, the aftercomings of
M2.
the processor M2 and all those things. So you see, Snapdragon, right? They were, what do we say? Uh, uh, Anxious about getting the same, what do we say, N2 score, getting the same Geekbench score of the M1, and they had it. So they released 8 Gen 1 in,
They even
I
hired the
guess 6 months
developer
back.
to develop M1.
Correct, correct. That is very interesting. So yeah, so now we have that, you know 1 million, I think, yeah, 1 million score with us, and that's what Snapdragon wanted to achieve. But in that hustle, they forgot that there is something called as, you throttling, which can happen when there is no fan in the phone. Literally, phones are going above 55 degrees, right? You'll see these phones, like I'm just naming these phones, which don't have really good cooling solution, like iPhone 9 Pro. That goes easily. Like if you'll play 30 minutes BGMI in ultra settings, you will easily see 50 plus Celsius in this summer home. So even like this phone, Motorola S30 Pro, that also heats like hell. All these phones are at 8 Gen 1. Now, this was the issue. What these people are saying that Samsung was the one who manufactured these chips, and In the 8 plus Gen 1, they are going to go with the TSMC. So the process is similar, 4 nanometer process. But now the chip manufacturer is going to be TSMC. So they're calling it TSMC's manufacturing process of 4 nanometer. That's what they're saying for 8 plus Gen 1. And we have already seen this day-to-day video in which he is demonstrating the ROG Phone 6, which also has 8 plus Gen 1. That is performing really good, I would say. So initially, what was the issue? 8 Gen 1, if you will run for some X amount of time, it will drop to the performance of 888 plus or even lower than that because the phone is heated a lot. So that is the problem. But with the 8 plus Gen 1, we are seeing some hopes. And now after the release of this chip, this is what personally I feel that what Apple will be forced to whatever they're hiding, their bucket, release the thing, because I'm sure that Apple is hiding a lot in their bucket now. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for 8 plus Gen 1 to come and see the response of Apple.
I mean, I actually do think Apple has actually
Yeah,
taken the whole processing to another realm. Like AMD has
because yeah,
taken the computing processing, right? The server grade
correct,
hardware to another realm, right? With
correct,
Intel, and that's the only thing which pushed
hmm,
Intel to work more. And
correct, correct.
now, starting people are leaving x86, moving to ARM in their
Hmm,
laptops. Like people are now preferring
correct.
ARM notebooks, but not
Yes.
that much as we thought it would, right? But still people are
Yeah,
going to Surface lineup, which is ARM based, and also obviously MacBook, right? People are buying MacBooks. Um,
absolutely.
Actually, the performance of MacBooks, people have already matched it for a long time, but the major problem was the efficiency and the temperature of the processor.
We can say TDP, right? TDP was really high
Correct,
in the other chips.
correct. So in theory, the performance per watt was really low, right? And
That's the problem.
now
Yeah.
with 4 nanometer, it is kind of cheating, right? Because I don't think M1 is made at 4 nanometer, it's 8 nanometer.
I
No,
think it
proceed.
is 6 or 5. I'm just let me check.
Just 6.
I'm just
Are
checking
you
it.
talking about M1 or M1 Pro?
Uh,
M1 had a
M1.
refresh, right? That is Pro.
Yeah, let's talk about M1 Pro then, because that's the latest one, right?
Yep.
So
M2 is on the way.
5 nanometer, yeah, it is 5 nanometer.
5 nanometer. There you go, right? So it's a little
Yeah,
bit of cheating because now they are on lower processing node, right?
yeah,
So they
correct.
can cram more more transistors. But that is also true for Apple because Apple don't have a fab lab, right? Not fab lab, sorry,
Hmm.
fabrication uh, company.
Yeah,
They are not a fabrication company. They are outsourcing that. So obviously
absolutely right.
Apple can also jump to 4. But what happens, right? I mean, the architecture Apple started with is really good. Like
Yeah,
Ryzen,
great.
you can say.
Yes,
From the bulldozer,
yes,
AMD had a total restart. And I don't think unless these companies have a restart the new architecture. Like I think what Exynos is doing. Exynos is going to restart their
uh,
architecture. Um,
yeah,
unless they do that, I don't think they can match the performance of what M1 does. Because I
impossible.
think M1 hardware accelerates to move. They have hardware accelerators for everything. The the SoC.
Absolutely.
And then
Yes,
there are specific instructions which are designed to just accelerate the particular. That is, the particular
yeah,
instruction which is more commonly used for the particular acceleration. I mean, particular application is being accelerated in the SoC.
correct.
So you can say like all the other less occurring instructions are not even in the focus. It's just supported, right?
Yeah,
So these all things make the SoC really good. And the last thing I think is the GPU. The GPU was the biggest blow, I guess, for everyone. Because GPU could process more than 8 parallel streams of 1080p and around 4 parallel
Even
stream of 2K.
yeah, even the 8 Gen 1 was not able to surpass M1 in terms of GPU.
GPU.
So there you go. Still, in GPU, in the aspect of GPU, still the scores of benchmarking softwares are high. Just letting you know.
Actually, when you think about it, the GPU is the major thing which really gets hit in your phone a
Yes.
lot. Mainly
It
because
has to be
the
really
CPU
good.
is not doing anything normally, like the UI animations and all those things. Now people want all animations, fancy transparency, and all those,
I mean,
the
they're
GPU
talking
company
about
stuff.
144 hertz, right? Now Motorola phones are coming with 144 hertz, 120 hertz in OnePlus phones. People are not even buying phones which are having 90 hertz. They all want more than 120 hertz or 120 hertz. So yes, all those frames come from GPU only. So if your GPU is powerful, then only those frames will come. Otherwise, there is no point in having that high refresh GPU. Sorry,
And
display,
this is
because the
the
GPU
main
cannot
point.
supply.
This is the
Yeah,
main point. CPU is not that powerful for M1. It's the GPU, which is
correct.
the powerhouse of
The
this.
GPU taking all the things.
Yeah, and
Correct.
actually, there are, actually, right? Actually, the AMD has already surpassed M1s and M1 Pros speeds and power efficiency.
Right.
But the thing is, they will come up with M2, which might be better. And
Yeah.
now, actually, I think AMD has now Zen 4 Genova, right? Which
Zen 4,
is
Zen 4, yeah.
uh, how much better? I think 50% better than Zen 3, right? So they
Yeah,
have
50%
performance
better than Zen
uplift
3.
of
I remember.
50%. And that is something you don't really see in processor manufacturing. You get 10%,
Yeah.
15%. That is the max you
Max to
get.
max 20%.
And
Yep.
this basically killed
Agree.
Intel, right? I mean, with Zen 4, they are done. Now they have to start with they whatever they were calling like P-core, E-core bullshit. Right? They have to now start with some other thing, and now
Yes.
Apple has to also come up. I think Apple do have already,
Yeah.
they might be already generation ahead, right?
Yes.
One thing I like about Apple
Or,
is giving consistency of
yeah,
performance over all the devices, iPad, the MacBook.
agree. If you remember,
Yep.
just before 5 years, right, people were hesitant to buy MacBooks just because it had Intel processors. And just because of Intel processor, it had really high heating issues. Also, the design was shit. But yeah, Intel processors were not good. And now,
Uh,
just after M1 came, right, people are dying to buy MacBooks. I don't know why. But yeah, this is the,
you know why, right? It's not like you don't
ah,
know why.
yeah, we know, right? Agreed. But yeah, see, that's the difference which someone made, right? Everything is now consistent.
Abhijit,
Everything is in their
Abhijit,
head.
right? Abhijit has a
Yeah.
MacBook, right? Intel MacBook.
Oh yeah.
He runs
Correct.
some
Correct.
VMs and he starts doing some work. And after which he took that and put it on my lap. You
Oh
know,
man.
I was like, Tom, when I put on flames, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he literally jumped
Oh.
from the chair. Right? That thing could basically iron my clothes. That's how hot it was.
I mean, you don't have to buy iron now. You can just literally use that
Intel
MacBook, right?
MacBooks. Intel MacBooks.
Absolutely. Yes.
Actually, now M1 doesn't heat. It's absolutely good.
Yes, absolutely. And
What can you?
just because yeah,
Intel did with 65 watts, M1 is doing with 15 watts, and way better.
absolutely. Way better. There is no need of a fan now. Laptops are fanless now.
Yeah, the laptop board is a heatsink. I mean, they were heatsink from the day start for
Yeah,
MacBooks.
yeah, absolutely.
That is the reason why it heats like hell, right?
Correct.
The
Agreed. Agreed.
entire body is basically a heat dispensing system. While
Yep.
while
Yep. Yep.
normal plane manufacturers, what they do is they put plastic
Yep.
on the backside so that people's lap doesn't get
Right.
fried. While Apple
Right.
is like,
But the
you know
internals.
what? Let's underclock the CPU to like nothing, so that it doesn't heat the lap when they are using it as a laptop. While they're putting on power, let's overclock the thing to like move so that everything fries, right? From the touchpad to keyboard to everything. Right?
Oh man.
Even screen, right? After some time, it starts to become yellow because of the heating.
Absolutely. I mean,
Um, ac-
I remember. Yeah. Yeah. What was it?
Actually, there was a comment we missed about Windows 10, right?
Yeah. The ads in the start menu, right?
Yep. And also one more thing, like one person is not recommending use Windows 11, right? Like
11. Yes.
actually,
I
I
actually
do
tried
agree
to
with that, right?
read through
Why?
them.
Because Windows
Yeah.
11 feels like Windows 10 with too much GPU utilization.
Okay.
They have curved
Absolutely agree.
corners, they have transparency effects, they have right click, which doesn't make sense. They have start menu on the place where you really don't want the start menu to go to, and like all
Yep.
over the place. And they have even removed tablet. It feels
Yep. Yep.
like this is something I will run the opposite direction. If
Absolutely
yeah,
correct.
and this is the only edition of Windows I have not really been keen to try it. Like
Exactly.
normally
Yeah.
I try
That's
it even
that's
before
the
it's
point.
released. I try out the
Agree.
leaks.
Agree.
This was like, yeah, I
Absolutely right.
mean, we know what is happening, right? And then the TPM nail in the coffin.
Oh man.
I mean, it's secure and all, but do you need to have a TPM for normal computing? Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's not a necessary feature. It's a good to have.
Even Netflix is okay with having no TPM.
Exactly.
Even this Spotify and all those people who really wants to have their data encrypted, right? It's okay with having no
They are
TPM.
also fine. Yep.
Yeah, I think they could have released a patch for Windows 11. Really thought they would, where uh,
Correct.
they would have made Windows 11 compatible. Now we are relying on people who are patching Windows 11 manually, like
Yes.
on their own terms.
Right. Right. Right.
After 3 to 4 years, they would leave support for Windows 10 and we are forced to move to Windows 11. Not necessarily. Have you seen people who are in the DTP centers still using Windows XP? Then you will know.
Agree.
There are people who literally use Windows XP in year 2022.
I yeah. I mean Windows 7 also, right? That's also a really good build, I would say. But yeah, XP
Windows
also
7 is
really
the
good.
one is I'm still confident that if we take statistics, Windows 10 and Windows 7 will be on the same plane.
Yes.
I have
Yes. Yes.
seen like a lot of people run Windows 7, starting from 8
Even
years.
oh, I see. I mean, in my college, all the PCs are running Windows 7, right? So they're good.
I hope they haven't thought about having a ransomware or something in the one system, right?
Agree. But yeah, security updates are the issue. Like we don't have any more for Windows
Yeah,
7 or XP. So
Roshik, like do like Metasploit easier to get a shell. Actually, what you need to do is put a firewall and then disable every port. in your Windows machine. Then you will be
That
actually
would do that.
secure,
Absolutely.
right?
It's like iOS, right? You don't allow the users to basically copy one file from one folder to the other, and you know you are sure that you are secure. Of course, you are secure because you are not allowing anything. Oh man.
It's like Google, right? Same as Google. If you
Yep,
don't
yep, yep.
allow people to install custom ROMs, then you can guarantee
That
that the system is not modified, so secure.
I mean, just after 1 year, we'll be saying that if you don't allow the people to sideload the apps, there won't be any malwares in the Android OS itself. I
Absolutely.
mean, APK support is
Uh,
going away slowly, slowly.
by the way, Play Store never had
Yeah.
malwares. There are no apps in the Play Store which tries to fish people. Absolutely no way, right? You know those
Right.
reports? Have you heard those reports where there are people, those apps which modify your face and all those filters and all those things. I'm not talking about Snapchat. Obviously, Snapchat is a thing which comes to your mind. Right? Think about it.
Yeah.
But there are some apps which does these kind of things, which are there, which works. But underlyingly, what they do is they either mine, they send the user data, or what they do is, you know, off the bat, takes your SMS and shares it.
Even absolutely correct. I absolutely agree with you. There was an app. I think like app, yeah, like face app. I think yeah. So what that used to do is like you could see what your face would look if it was like 60 years old, 70 years old, right? What that app used to do is like literally send your uh, face's photo to the server. I mean that's that you're you're literally sending your face to a server. I don't know how scary, how more scary it can be.
It was
Yeah,
changing the gender app, if I'm correct.
yeah, correct. Even the age and all those things. Then
Right, right.
then it got famous. Then developers dig into it, and then they got. If it didn't got famous, then you could confidently say that we wouldn't know that it was
Absolutely.
doing that.
I
So
actually
that's a
do
problem.
think, people should be the judge, not Google. Right?
Absolutely right.
That is the reason why I think we want an open source uh, store. Actually, there was a case against Google having monopoly, having one store, and
Yeah.
people fought, and what happened is they gave access. Google gave
Yes.
access, but here is what access means, right? So people who are manufacturing the phones can put their own stores,
All right.
and now F-Droid is kicked out of the bucket, literally.
I see.
So after some time,
Interesting.
F-Droid will die. That is
Effort
already
will
what
die.
you call like a sealed, right? Sealed.
I mean, with
And what to
F-Droid,
do after that?
uh, Samsung store, even the Amazon store, these all third-party huge stores will also die, if I'm not wrong.
Slowly,
So
slowly.
that will be
First nail
interesting
in
to
the
see
coffin
how.
will be to F-Droid.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the
Then
least
Google
famous one,
will
right?
slowly
Because
come ponding like Majestic. Right? They started first allowing Majestic and everything. Then they, slowly came and killed it. Now then they started ponding Advanced. Now they killed it. And now what
we
next?
never talked about Vans, right? We never talked
Yep,
about Vans.
yep.
Oh man, you know, right? The story that these Vans people are not even saying the real reason why they are shutting down the project. What all they are saying is just because of the logo, they have to shut down the whole project. I mean, that cannot be the case. Absolutely cannot be the case. But yeah, so I mean, Vance is dying, but there is another thing, Revanced. It's in the development. We don't know when it will come, but yeah, hopefully it comes up within a year before this large version of where it stops working. But yeah, Google is stealing it, stealing everything. I agree.
I
Well,
think
it will be
Google
like
Cam mode,
really
right? I think that is next.
Google Cam mode. I
I mean,
agree,
that
but
is next to
even before
be
that,
killed.
well, even before that, I think these ad blockers, this uBlock Origin, that seems to be on the edge of death, maybe. Because I
But
heard
still we
2 months
can
back,
use it as a
yeah,
what do you call, like a add-on
yeah,
on Firefox and all those. Still.
yeah, yeah. It cannot be killed totally. Even we can use Pi-hole and block the ads on the whole network.
Even
It's
when
always
there's
there.
some like something which some DNS which blocks ad block DNS. There
Absolutely
is, you
correct.
can set it to that, and that will block everything.
Yeah, OS wide, network wide, we have lots of
Block
ad
it.
blockers. Absolutely. But yeah, uh,
We have never talked about
agreed.
India, monitoring VPNs.
I was just coming to it. So, uh, I mean, are we becoming China or what? Is this mini China?
We are not
That's a
China, man.
question.
Like, now we are starting to be North Korea.
North Korea. Yep, yep, yep.
I don't think China, like China says no VPN. It's not like we want VPN data. They say no VPN. Here it's
But
like yes VPN, give data. Right? Exactly same as North Korea.
yes, absolutely correct. I mean, so weird, right? I mean, then what's the point of using a VPN if you literally are just one step away from getting detected?
Virtual private network. And we have some amendment called right to privacy.
I mean, just remove the P from VPN, right? It is virtual network, not even private anymore. It is, I would say, I mean, keep the P, right? It is virtual public network now. Because if government wants, it can see the logs anytime. And then it will be something like public network itself, where everyone who owns the network can see the log. So yeah, virtual public network is the correct full form. VPN in India. Yeah. I mean,
Unless you are running the VPN on your own.
yeah, or yeah, I mean, of
Or
course we
you
can
store.
deploy VPN on or, or YouTube. Yeah, I mean, one can always run an Azure VM and deploy VPN over there and just connect to it. That's always a solution, but that requires a lot of money, right? I mean, let's say if I want to do a crime, right? What I would do? I would go to my neighborhood. I'll ask the Wi-Fi password password of theirs. I'll tell that I have an exam, just 1 hour, just in 1 hour. I want to give it really bad, really bad. I want your Wi-Fi password. They'll give me the Wi-Fi password. I'll use their Wi-Fi network and do whatever I want to do, right? Do whatever
Actually, you know
NASA
what? You
hacks
know
and all.
what is better,
Yeah,
right? You will
yeah,
find a kid who has an accent. You will canvas the kid to give him, like, some games or something. You will put
correct.
a malware in the laptop. Then the kid
Yep,
plugs in that laptop into the network of some other person. And then you
yep,
use
yep, yep.
some remote access tool, RAT basically, to control
Correct,
that
correct.
person's laptop, but with stealth. That is, only doing some
Yes,
commands, not really using the GUI. Right? Then after which
correct.
you will attack the server, right? And then you will put
Yep,
some Tor and VPN and all those mixture. See, this is not really preventing crime
yeah,
even 1%. Like
correct,
this is
correct.
completely just a hoax. I think like,
Hmm.
the websites government banned,
Yeah,
the adult
I,
websites.
I think I think they want to monitor on those websites only.
Yeah,
Whoever
who
is
all are
using that,
watching
man.
that?
Agreed, agreed. Absolutely agree. That's the plan.
Actually, there is another amendment in our constitution
Yeah.
called as
Yeah.
right to have a private place.
Okay.
That is,
Okay.
in your private place, you are free to do anything you want. Government
Okay.
won't question it. And what if these things are blocked?
Hmm.
I mean, at that point, there is no private thing to do.
Agree.
Actually don't make sense. Right? These whole things doesn't make sense. We have right to privacy and no privacy. We
Yeah.
have right to own a private thing, land, but don't have anything to do private.
Absolutely right. It is like it's
It's
like
just a
in an
hustle.
iPhone, right? You,
It's a hustle.
I mean, uh, the analogy is comparable with iPhone. You have the hardware, but you cannot do with that hardware. I mean, repair in the sense of repairing. It's like not you are not owning the hardware. Similar to that.
Now I can't really complain about people migrating to US or Australia or someplace
Absolutely,
nowadays.
absolutely right.
Because
Even Canada, right?
India government, right, putting restrictions where people shouldn't put. Like, it is no point. Right?
Yeah,
There are a lot of things which are really bad, like internet trafficking. Then there are, CP, right? Then there are a lot of things which are need to be monitored and banned. They are wasting their resource on something which only, like adult people use. It's pretty much natural thing to use, and I don't think no one is even preventing it. Yeah, I think even like I have asked my friends and even got to know that it's not complete blockage. Like some of the sites
I
are
see.
even accessible. That is what I have got to know, and
Okay,
that
okay.
is weird thing, right?
That's
Why that some
totally
of
weird.
sites? Is there some compliance between the government? Are they trying to track people and find out the demographic? Are they trying to plot something? I have no idea, right?
It seems like their data science department is growing. They want more and
Yep,
more data.
yep.
Interesting.
There are tech support people in India. They
Hmm.
do absolutely amazing
Right.
job. You know, giving old people service they don't need.
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Ramesh. Your credit card is expiring on this date. Will you please give me your CVV
Hello, your
so that I
computer has
can?
virus.
I'll send you a link through which you can install the software, and then I'll be able to resolve the issue on your laptop. Oh man, take
Yeah,
down those people, not the normal people. What the government is
correct.
doing there? I think this
Even if
time
they
the
went
government.
against torrents,
Yeah,
I won't be that you know
I agree.
rage in the sense they are
But
attacking the wrong thing.
one thing, right? From the torrents, I remember you you have Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
You do have, right? Now, what if I tell you that there is a movie? To watch a movie, you will have to pay extra.
Oh
So it's like, I think Spider-Man, the latest movie, right? It came to Prime, but you have to pay some 150 rupees or something like that just to watch it one day.
shit.
Then this KGF came, right? KGF 2 came.
Oh, KGF 2. Right.
Again, again for same thing. If you want to watch that movie, you have to pay X amount of movie, uh,
Yeah,
price extra.
registration fee also.
So what's the point? I mean, this is all 199 rupees. Thank you, Lord Villain. So I mean, this is the thing which is moving. I mean, already people were not at all okay with paying price for a content because prices were increasing a lot. Now this is what is driving the people towards torrents, right? I mean, you're basically modifying the
Actually,
agreement which you had.
they are trying to make Prime Video like Audible, right?
Ah, I see, I see.
Audible,
Right, right.
you know how Audible works, where you have a limited free content, then you will
Hmm.
have all the others which are like paid, and you can either use your credit, which you have two of them
Yeah,
when you renew per month, or you can pay for the particular content.
I see, I see. Interesting.
So similar model they are trying to adopt, and I think you know from the business perspective this looks perfect, right? Because Netflix is now
Okay.
already having nail in the coffin because of their
Yeah,
pricing strategy, right? They are really dying at this point, and people are starting their own streaming OTT platforms. So they are pulling content from
yes.
Netflix. Netflix is slowly being killed. You know, it's like
Yeah,
you know,
after this Disney Plus Hotstar came, right? Netflix is, dying like mummy, I would say.
yeah, Netflix is kind of already in the grave. Just someone
Correct.
has to just put the stand on top of it. That's it. Already
So,
everything is packed and in the grave. Uh, I'm
yep.
really sad to see Netflix go because I really think that their system was pretty good. Their
Yeah, I
software
agree. Their
platform was
servers
really
were
good.
really good. Even the servers like really, really stable, right? Really strong servers they had.
And they even had really good content, right? The content in the sense like the delivery of the actual picture was superior to
Yes,
others. Also the audio was
absolutely
superior
right.
to others.
Absolutely correct. Also,
But
Prime also
I
shows
mean,
ads. This is was one of the viewers saying
what the
before
hell?
videos. So basically, it is YouTube.
I want to say like what Stephen Key says. Right? Stephen Key, right? What the hell you are saying? Like
Agreed, agreed, agreed. I mean, you don't
now
expect
you
to
have to
pay
pay
something.
extra.
I mean, it is Windows 10, right? You are paying to see the ads in the start menu. So it's something like Windows.
Now we have to just pay for everything. I guess when do I pay have to pay for this chair?
I mean, you also have these headphones, right? When do you have to pay next time? Also remember
Yep.
that. Otherwise, the Bluetooth
Bluetooth
chip will.
protocol, new protocol subscription only, right?
Yeah.
And then a
Oh
wire
man.
will come up, which which converts the audio from analog to digital, then digital to analog, and connects.
Yep,
And
yep, yep,
for
yep.
that converter chip to work, you need to pay a subscription.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't get the key to the converter chip.
Correct.
Yeah.
Rujek is saying that, but Prime feels worse because other features like delivery and early offer service. We all agree. But you know, when we bought Prime, all the users thought that whatever content comes on the Prime videos, that will be available to watch free of cost. Like
Correct.
let's put ads aside, right? Let it be there. Paying price on top of the Prime subscription was never a part of the Prime subscription, and then it came up without notifying any user. So that's the problem. Like you're not being transparent. That's the problem.
Actually, I did see it coming because in the Prime, if you have noticed, you'll always say included with Prime on the top.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
So I was really thinking, what is not included with Prime?
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
you know
Now you
what
know,
is
right?
not included with
Now you know.
Prime. Subscription for stereo playback, obviously.
Oh man. Man. I would like
Then
throw away these headphones. I just watch it on my laptop speakers. If that was the case.
you should get a home theater too, right? You'll be mind blown.
Agreed. 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 Absolutely.
Movies, like headphones are not good for it. I mean, it's better than having a worse 2.1 setup. better than having that.
Yeah, yeah,
But 5.1
absolutely.
setup will always beat, headphones. But
And a good subwoofer, right?
music, right? Music, don't put it in a home theater. I mean, if you want to have less stress on your ears, then. But otherwise,
Yeah,
it's all headphones. Headphone only
yeah. The
feels perfect.
details don't come up. You know
Just
those
just for the
laser.
context, right? Can you talk about your
Yeah.
headphones?
Oh yeah. So these are the Sennheiser 280, sorry, HD 280 Pros, which I bought I think 1 month back. Yeah, I think 1 month back. For I think 7,000 rupees, right? So for that price, what I'm getting
Just for the
is next
reference,
level.
this is a Bluetooth headphone which costs by tenth of the price.
Yeah, correct. So you see, these are wired ones, right? This is the wire, something like telephone. It doesn't have any feature on the wireless side. It's all wired. But why I bought this headphones is just uh, purely because of the sound quality. So uh, these are basically neutral headphones. Like you don't have emphasized bass, you don't have emphasized trebles, which Sennheiser generally have in their small earbuds. These are like fairly neutral. So when I was lastly talking with Savira that I wanted to buy an headphone, he suggested that absolutely go with the monitor headphones because they have the flat sound profile, and you can tweak on your own. So after tweaking this through pulse effects, these literally feel like you're sitting in a theater, right? I mean, you don't have that effect of sound playing in the back and front, but just based on the clarity of the voice plus the bass, it's like next level. Like I cannot explain, but it's like you're sitting in a premium theater, right? It feels like that. The same sound quality. So these are next level, and I have read the reviews like these headphones will last more than a decade because these are made really rough. Like you can do anything to these, and these won't break at all. And everything is replaceable. Even this pad is replaceable. The headband is replaceable. Uh, these obviously these earpads are replaceable. Every part of this earphone can be taken out through a screw on board and can be replaced. So that's always there. And I highly recommend this headphones. If someone doesn't want a wireless headphone and wants really good quality for below 10,000 price, absolutely go for it. Sennheiser ST1080 to 280 Pros.
Actually, I have already shared my AKG headphones review with you all, right? Pretty
Oh yeah.
much mind blown after buying AKGs, right? And I can even
Oh
feel
yeah.
what Preet is explained.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely
only
right.
problem with AKG is that it is pretty much not replaceable. Everything is made replaceable, but you can't buy anything. So,
The
but
spare
with
parts are not there.
Sennheiser, that is fixed. Yeah, all the
That is fixed.
replacement.
Yeah. Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
And I think
only thing
the
with
build
AKG
quality
is
is a little bit better.
correct. I mean the AKG only costs like 3,000 rupees, right? Compared to this is like 10,000
Yeah.
rupees. Um,
More than double, right?
but I don't think the audio quality is better for Sennheiser, but it won't be that big of a difference. It will be a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit better. And
Yeah.
the
I agree.
only thing I have seen about AKG is that it is use and throw. People use it as like use and throw, where they have it in their studios, they use it for some time, maybe
Hmm.
1 2 years. After that it gets
Correct.
damaged, they just throw it and buy a new pair, right?
Yes.
That is how they use it. While Sennheiser is like a keeper, right, for a
Right.
very long time. And even mine, the I think it was a bad choice because see the ear cups, they started
Okay.
slowly. What do you call like corroding? The what do you call that thing?
Yeah.
Um, ear pads, right? Ear pads are
Yeah.
corroding,
Earpads.
and
Yeah. One
now
of the
they are
users is asking
crumbling
Abhiram,
down. Right?
uh,
Yeah,
which model of AKG you have.
AKG K72, right? A72.
I
I'm
see.
just
I see.
confirming
A72.
if that is the case.
Yeah.
This,
And answering the question of Rushik, the earpads of these headphones don't cost a lot. I didn't see the exact pricing, but I know that it doesn't cost a lot. And it's like, even on the Amazons, you will get a lot of companies which are providing even better earpads than this. I think the Brainwaves is the one which even provides a breathable earpads, so you don't get the sweat on the ears. So yeah, it is like, you have lots of accessory for this headphone. Even there is a wireless mode available for this headphone. So yeah, there are a lot of going on things with of this because this headphone was announced in 2003, and then it got incremental updates, right? So this model is available from ages, and it's like very famous.
I
Right.
think I can probably buy the replacement uh, cushion ear pads from AliExpress.
Yeah, agree. But do they ship? That's the question because from China, if something comes right nowadays, I'm not so sure if that will reach your home or not.
Actually, it should. I have bought one thing which is
Okay.
from China through Amazon. Hope it comes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm screwed because it costs a lot of money. Let me see
Oh
your
man. Okay.
orders. It's a Type C, debugger thing, right? The
Alright. Alright.
power PD thing, right? PD order placed on 18th May. Let me see when
Yeah.
it says here. Track package. It is shipped in Delhi. Very. It's the provider. I mean the
Uh, okay. So Lord Villain is saying that that's why he likes IM. IM is like in ear earphones. They're really modular. I mean, these IMs are like, the drivers are detachable from the wire, right? So you can basically, if the wire uh, you know snaps into half, then you can replace that wire. And
correct.
these drivers are separate, so they are really modular and reasonable. Hi-Fi IMs are available. Correct, I agree. But one thing, Lord Winner, what I would like to point out is the clarity will be there. I agree. The sound stage can also be there. I agree. But the bass, right? The bass which you get in the headphones, in
Can't be
IMs it
replaced.
is different. IMs cannot produce that bass. It's not possible at all. So yeah, that's the difference. I would say.
Not
If
just
you
the
want a
base,
really,
right? Like very high end.
yeah, yeah, that's also correct. Even the highs are, I mean, possible, but not as good as headphones. So if you want a really good audio experience, I would say that IMs are good for traveling and maybe some portable works, but for a kind of a stable table setup, go with a really good wired headphones.
And nowadays,
Okay,
wired headphones
IMs
are
is like
becoming
in-ear
also.
monitor. Yeah, yeah,
Now wired headphones are also becoming like use and throw stuff mainly.
I
So
agree.
you
I
better buy
agree to that.
a high end one, like like
Yeah,
we did over here, right? Buy
yeah,
a
yeah.
higher end one.
I'm sure that this will like last at least 10 years. Hmm.
Just the pads are enough. Even the headband, right? It's adjustable if
Yeah,
we use older one. But ear pads,
correct,
it's
correct.
harder to use when it's broken, right?
That's are the one. Yeah. So, Morgan is saying that his AKG 52 has slightly better sound stage and a bass. But I like
Not just
listening to
slightly
IM because
better,
of
I think.
it. Ah,
I think it is
so
way better. Let me
I mean,
see K52.
what Lord Villain is saying that his IMs are producing better highs. So
Right.
it all goes to the driver tuning also. It's not like every headphone is going to sound that really good.
See,
The
it's also
tuning of
smaller
the
driver, right?
drivers matter a lot.
Smaller
Yeah.
drivers have higher resonant frequency.
Yes.
So it's easier for it to be tuned for higher frequency. And people
Definitely
normally
that.
tune for higher frequencies because they want to have audio, right? Normally, like just normal audio,
Yeah.
right? So they will
I
tune
mean,
for 1 kilohertz to 10 kilohertz normally.
there is a really good suggestion from Mushik. He's saying that let's build an open source headphone.
Yeah, actually, that is one thing I do have in my bucket list. To start a company which delivers all these
Yeah.
products much more openly. Actually, this looks pretty. K52 looks pretty similar to my K72.
Yeah, looks wise they are pretty same. The one is golden frame and one is silver frame, if I'm not wrong. Otherwise, looks are really same.
Yeah, mine is silver and his is
Okay,
black.
yours is silver. Got it. Got it.
Actually, K92 is what golden.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it.
Okay, so what is the difference? Um, yeah, I have to go
And
through
most
this, but
probably
I think major difference will be like uh, the impedance
drivers.
matching and impedance
Yeah,
matching and the drivers.
agreed.
Sensitivity, maximum length, blah blah blah. Yes, it looks good. I don't know what is the gender of headphones. I never knew that headphones have gender.
Yep.
Have you
Alright.
seen it? Right, like
So,
it's mentioned that that
yeah,
thing has gender.
uh, can you repeat that?
Uh,
I couldn't hear.
it is mentioned that K72 gender is male
Oh,
for the headphones.
okay. Okay.
What does I mean? I
What does
think
that mean?
maybe male connector, maybe, right?
Yeah, I
That
hope
is
that's the case because
right.
yeah, I mean it's not that big
Okay,
that
the
humans
sensitivity
cannot
is
use.
higher, right? That's the reason.
Okay,
Sensitivity is high. The cable length
higher,
is
yeah.
more, 472,
Today,
and yeah, that is all. That is all the difference.
okay, but
So nothing more, right? So then I can talk from my AKG user perspective, right? See, I
yeah,
think what happens is not just for the sound stage, the response to tuning. That is something which you have to really check out because once you try to take equalizer and you change frequencies, you can literally hear the change in your headphones. Normally you have the equalizer, you change something, you won't notice, okay, what the hell, and you will like increase is way higher, then you will be like noticing, okay, something changed. But that is not how it should be. Every step you can notice the change, and that is what
yes,
this will give you, the higher end headphones. Even AKG, I can feel that. And this is one another thing I notice. Even if one pin drops in my background in editing the videos, I can hear it.
yeah.
That thing happened.
The smallest white noise, right? That's also hearing.
By the way, Vipul Sharma is Vipul Kumar Sharma is asking, he has a
Yeah,
question, so yeah, we will wait
yeah,
for the question.
yeah,
Come
yeah,
up,
yeah.
I guess.
Please do ask.
Ah, right. I'm confused in 16K segment for mobile phone. Actually, what do you think about 16K segments? Right?
Ah, so see, all the 16K phones don't have UFS storage, if I'm not wrong. So, uh, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but one should look for really good storage speeds also alongside the processor. But yeah, if it is strictly 16K, then uh, I would say either go with Realme or or maybe Samsung. I mean, just increase 4K and get a Samsung M series because you will get really good software updates
M12 is
and
there,
a
but I
stable.
don't recommend it. It is only for people who want a 720p screen, which is
I
pretty
mean,
bad.
M33 and all those things, right?
M32 is there.
Yeah, I mean, 16K is just there but not good enough for
M32
Samsung.
is there, but it's 17K, right? So, you know, like,
Yeah. So I mean, just around 16K, it's fine. If you want to go for Samsung, then go for M series and a little bit higher, 32, 33. If you really want a really good performing phone, then go for I think Realme because Xiaomi I don't trust the quality of those phones. Realme is a really good
and actually, if you
uh,
have Kotak Mahindra
quality
credit
phone.
card, right, you can also get around 1250 back on this
Yeah,
order.
and also look for the discounts because nowadays what is happening is every phone has some or other bank's credit card discount or even debit card discount sometimes. So
Sometimes
look
limited.
for it and whichever phone you like, get the discount uh, using your phone, your friend's credit card or something like that because it makes a huge difference in the price.
The only problem I see, I think this is MediaTek. Let me see. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
MediaTek.
it will be mediated. It will be mediated.
I mean,
But
it's not a
that's a problem.
problem at this point because
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's better than Exynos. Having Exynos.
yeah. But yeah, I mean,
So
I would say if you don't care for software updates, then go for Realme. If you want really long-lasting software updates, more than 3 years, then go for Samsung.
even I think M has all the features of a flagship. So
Uh, yeah,
you can actually share audio, right? I mean, this is one feature I really like on Samsung. Right? If you have an audio device,
yeah,
someone is connected to the audio device, then if another person has a Samsung device, then they can use that device to connect to the other device, right? Device A, which is connected to headphones or
right,
whatever, and play the audio through that. So it's like
yeah,
not just headphones, right? I'm talking like a car situation where car is having some Bluetooth audio, and you can keep on chaining devices to each other, and that is something you get with Samsung, and also the Wi-Fi repeating, right? Like you can repeat the Wi-Fi. These like
right,
I don't know why other people don't have it. Repeating of Wi-Fi, then multi-window support.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
all these things
that's
and
really
good power
important.
management.
Right, right,
Good power management because you can actually control all the power management, and there are many brands which do also allow this, right? Good power management, but some of them don't give
right.
you control over it. It doesn't give you control, like don't put this app to sleep. There is nothing like that. That is one thing you really need.
Yeah,
So that Samsung do have. So from my experience of using Samsung, so it is not like it doesn't lag after some time. It do lag. It's not the holy grail of everything. I think for the software features, if you want, then Samsung is to go. But if you want just bare performance, then Realme and but IQ and all
yeah.
those things will be too expensive.
Which one?
IQ, right? Will be too expensive.
IQ, I don't think so.
Z6 is there.
A good choice. IQ, I mean, see, what I feel like is from the perspective of the quality, right? IQ is not a
Right.
good smartphone. So it gives
Correct.
you a lot of things. Like it gives you the best processor in the price range, but it doesn't give you the best quality battery in the price range. It gives you the
Right.
best camera in the price range, but it doesn't give you the best build quality in the price range.
Correct.
So it's not
Correct. It's
all around
something
the
like
phone.
Poco.
If you want, yeah, if you have specific needs, like I want this processor only because I want to game at 90 FPS, then go with iQOO. But otherwise, if you want an all-rounder phone, don't go with iQOO. Absolutely don't go with it.
Right. Right. Just
Yeah,
for
iQOO series
the
is
record,
definitely.
right? There is something called IQ Z6 5G. which is 5G and everything,
Yeah.
GB of RAM, 120 GB storage. If you want a Snapdragon, then this is what you need. Snapdragon 695,
Yeah.
6 nanometer processors deployed there, right? 120
Yeah.
hertz Full HD plus display and
695 is really good.
5000
Yeah,
mAh
very
of
good.
battery,
Very
17,000 rupees. So I think this will fit, but
yeah.
this should be something if you just need the phone for just pure performance and pure, what you call, like a pure, just for pure enthusiast use rather than
Yeah.
a
This is
normal
more
person
on
use.
the enthusiastic. Yeah, it's more on the enthusiastic side.
If you want to drop your phone and be okay with it, don't go here. Full plastic build.
Absolutely. You're like,
Yeah, IQ series is confusing. I do understand. Redmi Note 10 Pro. Let me see. Redmi Note 10 Pro. I have seen it.
yeah, that seems like a good choice. I also see. I also saw. Let me check the latest specs because they do change a lot.
Like 6 GB RAM, 128 GB storage, 128 hertz, Super AMOLED display. Okay, active metrics order. So okay, it's
Yeah.
active. 64 MB of back camera with 5 MP telephoto on back, and 33 watts charger with charger included. Now that is a feature, right? Anyway,
Okay, that's a really good feature. It does have UFS Tipo 2.2. That's a really
oh
good
yeah,
sign, I would
that's
say.
really good. And there's SD card slot,
Yeah,
something which you don't see nowadays. And with
but
Snapdragon.
as
Actually,
Deepak,
I
as Deepak,
think this will be better for you. What do you think?
whatever. See. Again, this is not an all-rounder phone. Why I say is, uh, as Deepak pointed out in the comments, all the mid-range Xiaomi phones have this really, really weird issue of proximity sensing. So if you're
Right.
attending a call, right, randomly the screen will turn on. Your your cheek will basically
That's some
mute the microphone, and
buttons.
yeah, it will randomly touch something else.
Actually, that is
So that's a
something
phone.
I was really, you know, I was really amazed with Samsung. As you know, I don't
Yeah.
have a proximity sensor.
Okay.
In my Note, there is no proximity sensor.
Oh man.
It detects with
Okay.
the screen only, right? The proximity. But somehow
I see.
it is bang on. It never turned on.
Interesting. Oh, that is
And
really,
I don't know how they
really
did
good.
it. I don't know how they did it. Some Samsung proprietary algorithm did it.
Yep.
They
Yep.
nailed it. Headphone jack. Oh
Yep.
man.
Really good.
Oh man.
It does
I
have
don't
headphones.
think
Yeah.
does it.
It does have. It does have.
What the hell? Did I
I
die?
mean, it's a
And
mid-ranger, right? Almost every mid-ranger has headphone jack.
you mean Redmi Note 10 Pro, right?
Yeah, Note 10.
I don't see the headphone jack.
Uh, in the picture, it is visible. In the on the top side, it is there on the corner. And also, the problem with the MIUI is like you will get a lot of
Yeah, headphone slot
ads.
is
You'll
there.
have to MIUI, right? Ads and all those
Yep,
things. You'll
yep,
get a
yep.
lot of ads. You'll have to turn off the things, and after the OTA, they'll turn on again. So there'll be again ads. So there, like MIUI is not a really good operating system.
Absolutely.
And one more thing, MIUI collects way more data than a stock Android. So you are being tracked a lot. Even the
So
smallest of the smallest swipe on your phone is being tracked. So just
you
just
know,
if you want your
stock
privacy, then
Android is
don't
like
do it.
Wanda being reasonable, and MIUI is like Wanda really
Right.
showing the powers. Have you seen? Have
Absolutely
you seen?
correct.
That movie Doctor Strange?
No, I have to.
Okay,
Uh,
then you
I
understand
went
this
to.
joke.
I mean, it's a funny story, right? Me and my friend went to see the movie. There were no people to see the movie. Like there was a policy that at least 10 people has to be there to run the show, right? And we were the only 2 people who went for it. So we had to come back home, and yeah, that's why I
What
couldn't see that.
the hell? Actually, I and Abhijit went to a movie. There were only
Yeah.
four people to see, the what do you call it? Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. Till they ran the
Oh
movie,
man.
and we
Wow.
had the
That's a
whole
really
theater for
good.
ourselves.
That's a really good movie theater, I would say.
They still
Amazing.
kept their promise, right? Because already it's booked. What is the point of not running
Yeah.
it anyway?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah, I mean they can save a little bit of power, electric power, and all those things, but
Right. Right.
watching movie like a mafia. Right? Yep. Only thing missing was guns to point into the projector
Absolutely.
room, right? Yep.
Correct.
There are like actually new theaters here nowadays
Yeah.
certified directly by Dolby. Right?
Oh.
I have
Also,
watched movies in those theaters and they're like mind blowing how good it is.
it, they have to be really good. I
If
mean,
you
we
ever
don't
come
have
to
those here.
Kerala, right? If you ever come to
Yeah.
Kerala, you have to go to
Yeah.
Revati Cinemax.
All right. All
It's
right.
in Paripalli, right? It's in Paripalli.
Okay.
And the sound, right? And sound channels, you'll be mind blown at how many channels they
Wow.
have. It's 110,
Amazing.
110 channels, 110
Oh
audio
man.
channels, including the speakers on the top of you.
Wow. That
There
has
are
to be
like
next level.
literally speakers just covering the whole
Okay.
top,
Oh man.
around 1 meter distance from each speaker. Speakers covering. And what they do is they start with a Dolby demo,
So
and you
it
are
gives you
like
the full
dead.
experience.
You are like dead after the demo. You're like done.
Wow.
Yeah, things
Absolutely.
start flying around all over
Amazing.
your place. Airplane lands in your head. Like
Wow.
it's like yeah. Uh, but it was not like
What a,
Abhijit didn't like it because he had to go a lot of distance to go there, right?
okay.
But he did rate
This
the audio to
district
be
is
next level.
okay. Which district is it? It is one of the viewers
Uh,
is asking actually.
oh yes, it's in like Kollam, I think Kollam district.
Kollam, yeah. So it is
Yeah.
Kollam, yeah. Correct.
So Revati Cinemax, right? Probably actually it is one of the biggest uh,
Okay.
theaters, I think. One of the
Wow.
yeah. I don't know if
That
I
has to
can
be
pull
really good.
some images. Let me see if I can pull some images.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks. I think you can search in Google Images Revati Cinemax.
Viewers select.
Looks
Okay.
it looks something like okay. I don't know if I can. Yeah, we haven't set up the screen share yet.
Yeah, we have to set up that scene. Next time I think we'll be
Yeah,
ready with
next
that
time we
also.
can do that. It's like next level, like, seats and everything.
Oh,
Yep, that is the reason why I now started going to theaters. Like, amazing.
amazing. That is pretty good.
Now I have scooter. I can technically go to that place and come back. Not an issue.
Right, right.
Yeah, but so is there anything more scheduled? Like I think
Yeah, I think
no,
that's
right?
all. We talked even like way more than what was necessary, but uh, we enjoyed it a lot. Right? Even the viewers were
Absolutely.
really nice this time. And
Yep.
all the time they are nice, but this time they were
Nicer.
participating a lot.
Yep.
Correct. So thanks a lot, everyone. And we'll come every week. Most probably next week I'll be moving to maybe Bangalore. So maybe we can. I mean, most probably before Sunday I'll move. So 99% it will be there. We'll try to be. We'll try to keep this regular always. And I think that's all. Right? Please do
Sure.
like if you really like this week, and share it with your friends. Like they will also have a really good tech knowledge from it. And otherwise, let us know in the comments that which part did you like the most, where you can improve, and if you have any any sort of specific requirements, then go to tuxforums.com and post post a thread there. We will try to answer your question there also. There are like lots of experts already there. Can really good who can suggest you a really good answers. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Okay, then let's roll the outro.
All right. Bye, everyone.